Assalamu alaikum. Welcome third medical students in the second lecture of pathology of digestive system. Pathology of esophagus. First, anatomy or anatomic and motor disorder. A. Hiatal hernia. Hiatal hernia means separation of the diaphragmatic crura, which result from separation of the muscular crura or widening of the space between the muscular crura and the esophageal wall. Once there is a dilation in this space between the esophagus and muscular crura, this will permit a portion of the stomach to protrude into the thoracic cavity above the diaphragm. Okay? This occurs in two forms. The first is known as the hiatal hernia or sliding hiatal hernia, or what we call it the axial hiatal hernia. In this case, this is the most common form of hiatal hernia, which is the sliding hiatal hernia. Okay, it accounts for about 95% of all cases of hiatal hernia. So, in this, there is a protrusion of a complete segment of the stomach with the resultant formation of a bell-shaped structure of the stomach above the diaphragm. The second one is known as the paraesophageal hiatal hernia. Okay, this results from protrusion of a segment or dilated segment of the stomach, particularly from the greater curvature, through a widening in the space or widening foramen in the diaphragm. So this known as the paraesophageal, and the cause of this case is usually obscure. The second one is known as achalasia. Achalasia means incomplete relaxation of the lower esophageal sphincter. Look at this case. Incomplete relaxation of the lower esophageal sphincter during the conveying of the food from the oropharynx into the stomach. This occurs either in a primary form or secondary form. The primary form results from loss of intrinsic inhibitory innervation of the lower esophageal sphincter, as well as loss of intrinsic inhibitory innervation for the smooth muscle segment of the esophageal body. Or secondary, due to either infection with certain infectious agents like the Trypanosoma cruzi, which cause the Chagas disease. This protozoa cause destruction of the myenteric plexus in the esophagus, duodenum, colon, and ureters. Okay, so, or sometimes due to invasion or metastasis of cancer into this site with the resultant involvement of the myenteric plexus by the secondary tumor. Okay, so the absence of the myenteric plexus from the body of esophagus, but it may be reduced in number only in the region of the lower esophageal sphincter, so it is still functional. Okay, so the inflammation, of course, there is a destruction of the myenteric plexus, either because of the presence of this protozoa or because of the metastatic cancer into the lower portion of the esophagus with resultant damage to the myenteric plexus. Both of them result in massive inflammation in the site of esophageal myenteric plexus, and this is a pathognomonic for the disease. Okay, it characterized clinically by progressive dysphagia, since there is asynchronization between the relaxation of the lower esophageal sphincter and conveying of the bolus into this side. So, clinically characterized by progressive dysphagia and inability to complete conveying of the food into the stomach, nocturnal regurgitation and aspiration of undigested food may occur. The third case is the laceration, or what we call it the Mallory syndrome. This results from asynchronized. This case occurred during the vomition. Okay. In the vomition, there is an increase in the intragastric pressure due to excessive contraction of the gastric muscles. This must occur in asynchronization with the relaxation of the cardiac orifice or lower esophageal sphincter in order to get rid of the gastric content. If there is asynchronization between the contraction of the gastric muscle and the relaxation of the smooth muscle, and the relaxation of the lower esophageal sphincter, it will result in rupture or tearing, longitudinal tearing in the gastroesophageal junction site. Okay, so it means a longitudinal tear in the esophagus at the esophagogastric junction. This encountered in chronic alcoholics after about the severe retching and vomiting, but they may also occur during acute illnesses with severe vomiting. The presumed pathogenesis is inadequate relaxation of the musculature of the lower esophageal sphincter during the vomiting, with stretching and tearing of the esophagogastric junction at the moment of a propulsive expulsion of the gastric contents. Tear may involve only the mucosa or may penetrate the wall. Most often bleeding is not profuse and ceases without surgical intervention. Supportive therapy with vasoconstrictive medications, transfusions, and sometimes balloon tamponade is usually all that is required. Fourth case is the varix or esophageal varices. This occurs when there is a portal venous blood flow or impairment of the venous blood flow into the liver. Mostly occur because of cirrhosis. Impairment of portal venous blood flow occur in cirrhosis because the blood flow in this site will impaired by excessive and bridging fibrosis between the central and portal area that impede the blood flow from the or in the portal circulation. This impairment of blood flow in the portal circulation will result in portal hypertension because of impairment of blood flow in the portal veins or in the portal vein. This induces the formation of the collateral bypass channels. ليش هذه البايباس channels تصير؟ حتى شو نسوي؟ حتى اللي هي common sites where the portal and systemic circulation communicate. فبمكان يعني هي راح تصير collateral circulation، نفعل collateral circulation اللي بيها sharing between the portal and systemic circulation حتى to return the blood into the heart. Instead of the inferior vena cava, it will return from the superior vena cava. So hence, portal blood flow is thereby delivered into the coronary veins of the stomach, then into the plexus of esophageal subepithelial and submucosal veins, thence into the azygous vein, and then to the superior vena cava in order to return the blood again. Okay? Once there is an impairment of intrahepatic portal blood flow, to reach finally into the inferior vena cava. So we will activate the collateral circulation or collateral bypass channels in order to return the blood through the superior vena cava. Varices appear primarily as arterials dilated veins. خلينا نشوفها بالإيمج. جيد. هذا this is a diagram to reveal the esophageal varices. Here is a dilated anterior veins present in the submucosa of the esophagus, and here is the endoscopic image. طبعا احنا من يصير عندنا dilation of the submucosal veins, it will push the mucosa toward the lumen. This render the mucosa and hence the submucosal veins into sloughing, the mucosa into the sloughing because of increased friction between the food during its conveying into the stomach and the mucosa of the esophagus and the bulged side of the veins, and the side of bulging veins راح يصير فيها increase بالfriction with the food, and hence there is a sloughing of the mucosa and render these dilated veins to continuous trauma and rupture with massive bleeding. طبعا قاعد يصير عندنا احنا الآن السبميوكوزال veins هي delicate والportal blood flow is يعني more than the flow of the means more than the flow of the blood which passes through the submucosal esophageal veins, and hence it will dilate and being engorged with the blood. It is of thin-walled veins, so it will easily to get rupture by trauma. Once the blood flow in this dilated varices or varix veins is too much, so there is massive bleeding will occur, and the bleeding will occur into the lumen and diffuse within the esophageal wall. So among patients with advanced cirrhosis of the liver, half of deaths result from rupture of the varix. Half of deaths result from the rupture of the varix, either as a direct consequence of hemorrhage, because of the excessive hemorrhage, death will occur after excessive hemorrhage, or because from the hepatic coma which is triggered by the hemorrhage. ليش يصير عندنا hepatic coma؟ لأنه originally إحنا we have an impairment of the blood flow in the portal circulation because of the bridging fibrosis and the cirrhosis. والآن إجينا سوينا the superimposition by reducing of the blood flow because of there is a hemorrhage or excessive hemorrhage from the submucosal variceal veins and the esophagus. Yes. Second, انتهينا من الاناتوميك and motor disorders. الآن نجي إلى الانفلاماتري disorders of the esophagus. خلينا نتوقف عند هذا الحد ونكمل في مقطع آخر.